Yeah, Derby week this week, hasn't it, with Lincoln and Alfreton? Does that change the way you feel about it as players? Do you notice that there's a different buzz about it all?
Well, I think Tuesday, you've seen the amount of fans that travelled down to the game. It's fantastic. At times it was like being at a home game. The atmosphere was brilliant, and this Saturday we've got to give them something to shout about and kind of repay that support a little bit. But these kind of local games are always a bit spicy. Obviously we had an encounter with them last season. It was eventful, so yeah, I imagine it's going to be good fun.
And Alfreton, like Lincoln, down there in the drop zone, but they're still a dangerous creature, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said it now in this league that the games that people look on that you should win are always the toughest ones, especially for teams that are down there scrapping. Every point's a bonus for them, so it's going to be a fight, it's going to be a battle, and we've got to make sure we win that first and then let our football do the work.
And also the fact that with results in the week, Wrexham are beginning to pull away at the top now, aren't there? There's a bit of a gap growing between Mansfield and the top 5. It's time to get those points on the board again.
Yeah, definitely, but again, a couple of wins and you're straight back in the mixer. I think now's the time of the season where you will see that little bit of a breakaway starting to appear, and we've got to make sure that we're part of that group that's kind of breaking away from the rest of everyone.
What's the mood been like in training this week? Has it been determined?
Yeah, definitely. We've got a great bunch of lads here. Do you know what I mean? We've got an honest bunch, and I think that was the hardest thing after last Saturday, because we all come off and it was one of them where we kind of all looked at each other as if to say what's just happened kind of thing, because it wasn't us. The work rate, the endeavour, the passion we've shown all season, it wasn't there. So that's what hurt us most. But like I say, I think we got the right reaction Tuesday, and the lads are buzzing.
Now yourself, struggling a bit with your ankle at the moment. What's the situation?
No, it's fine. I mean, obviously there's an issue there, but it's one of them things that the less I have to talk about it, the better. In this situation, just get your head down and get through it, and just play till you drop, basically. Well, that's my thinking anyway.
I'm sure you've had worse, haven't you?
Yeah. It's just one of them things, and it's football. You pick up these things, but at the end of the day, you're paid to do a job, and that's what you do.
Is it a case of as long as you can keep running and keep having injections in it, you'll keep going for Mansfield?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not someone that's I don't want to miss football matches. For me personally, it's always been the case that I realise it's a short career. I enjoy playing football, and I love it, and especially for this football club. And as long as I can do that, then I'll keep doing it.
After having a bit of a settled midfield, it's been chopped and changed around a little bit, hasn't it, in the last few weeks? Some of it forced, some of it tactical decisions. Has that made it a bit more difficult to keep going?
Nah, not really. I think even though it has been chopped and changed a little bit, we're all good players that are coming into the fold. Everybody knows their job, so you just crack on. I mean, Tuesday it was a pleasure playing with Bolly. He was obviously live, he had a lot of energy, so I enjoyed playing with him. And again, we go against Saturday, and we got to get a result.
And finally, a message for the fans on Saturday. It should be a big crowd for the Alfreton game. What's your message to them?
Just get behind us again. I think so far this season they've been excellent. I think it's up to the lads after last Saturday's performance to give the home fans something to shout about. Obviously a local derby, we know that they can be kind of the 12th man for us, and that's all I've asked of them, is to do the same as they've been doing.
Yep.
Also, I guess the 2 games you had against Alfreton last year kind of shows it's going to be a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you look at their manager, his teams, they're always strong, they're always organised, and when you go into games against them sides, you know you're in for a battle. We faced it last season. Obviously results ain't going their way this season, but they're always a dangerous team, so we've got to be on our toes and make sure everything's done right.
Alfreton then on Saturday, they come here on the back of a 4-1 defeat. Things haven't been going their way. It's banana skin is what they say as a cliche, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we're not looking at it like that. We're obviously looking at it as that every game's a hard game in this league, and it's because it's a derby, has that extra bit of spice. So we're going to be up for the game on Saturdays, I'm sure they will be.
Well, good luck on Saturday, Ritchie.
Thank you very much.
What did you make of that goal that Lincoln scored then? How did you see it from where you were standing?
It was just a long punt down the middle, really, and obviously I think it's just a missed-time header, and their lads read it, and I've not been able to get around and cover in time, and he's took it early to finish well. But obviously we know as defenders like that it's a really disappointing goal to give away. We've got to be dealing with that better.
The recent form at home, obviously you spilled a few points when you probably didn't expect to get them. Is there an extra anxiety about the players at home, or is it just one of those things?
I think it's just one of the things. There's an extra, obviously, like being at home, and then there's the majority of our fans and that. So we've got that pressure to do well, and we don't want to let anyone down. So I think we've given away quite a few leads this season, have ended up in draws, which has been a bit of a downfall for us. But I'm sure that'll come good at the moment. We've got a good group of lads here that we all got one goal in mind, which is obviously to be at the top of the league. So I think eventually we'll start pulling some good wins together at home.
I was just going to ask you, Ritchie, about, obviously the point where I think you mentioned there about, you got on the run and you're keeping the clean sheets. It's kind of quite a settled back four. It's been a bit more changed up now. How much do you think that's affected, the fact that you haven't been able to keep the clean sheets?
I don't think that it's like, because obviously the players that are coming in are also good players. I think that they wouldn't be fighting for the positions if they weren't good players. So I don't think we can blame not keeping the clean sheets on that. But I just think you get into a routine that everyone knows what they're doing, and there's that. But we're not going to come across times when people are going to get injured. There's going to be a change in personnel, so we've just got to all deal with that and try and keep these clean sheets. It was obviously. It would have been a clean sheet the other night, but it was just a disappointing goal to give away, which is why everyone was so annoyed at the end of the game.
Yeah, you're up against one of your old mates, aren't you, Nicky Law?
Yeah, we go back away. Both players. I was coming through as a youngster at Notts County when he was a player. He's done excellent in management. Always puts together good sides. It's going to be a really tough game, but I'm hoping these boys now are chomping at the bit. We want to put 3 points on the table. We want to put on a performance for our supporters at home. It's very, very sort of evenly balanced at the top of the table at the minute. I think we're something like 4 points off second place with a game in hand, and 3 points off the playoffs with a game in hand. So it'd be nice to go into into the FA Cup game with our position in the table just a little bit higher.
With Nicky pre-match, will there be a bit of a friendly chat before the game?
No, we usually, knowing Nick as I do, he's a competitor, he's a winner, so I think he'll probably keep his distance on Saturday, and I'm the same really, but we'll probably have a beer afterwards. Win, lose or draw, that's the nature of the game. But he's a competitor, so I think he'll be looking to do one over on us, and I'll be looking to do the same. So, but like I say, after the game, we'll probably meet up and have a beer or a glass of wine.
We were talking there about how close the table is. Wrexham seem to be pulling away at the top now. Do you feel they are getting a bit too far away?
Well, for me, the best team we've come up against this season. But if somebody said to me there's £100, go and have a bet on who's going to win it, I don't know who I'd put the money on. I still think it's very tight, even though we're down in 10th. It sounds awful, but we're 3 points off the playoffs with a game in hand and 4 points off second place. And I think you can blink and move up 2 places in this league. And I think once again it boils down to consistency, about consistently picking up results and picking up points, even when you're not playing well. And what we've got to think about Wrexham and a couple of teams is that they've not really had the blip yet, and everyone has that blip, everyone has that purple patch, and it's how they come through that. So all I said is consistency in from the beginning of the season is we want to be within touching distance points wise coming into the Christmas period. Even though we're 10th, we're still in touching distance. We've got to especially there's a couple of things at home now. We've got to start playing well, and we've got to start winning football matches. And we've got to be a bit more consistent in our mindset at home. I just think sometimes we've been a bit lapsadaisy in terms of the goals we've conceded. So it's I'm looking at Saturday's been a massive game for us. And I want the lads to produce the same kind of performance on Tuesday. And hopefully get a win.
A comment you'd made in a post-match interview was saying you were happy with how things were progressing. I think that had been misinterpreted in some areas, that you were happy with league positions and all that. That wasn't what you were saying, was it? You were saying you're happy at how quick things have gelled together within the squad, not what's happening in the league table.
No, sometimes you have to just have a sit back and and be analytical of the whole season up till now, you know. And you've got to look at our competitors, and you've got to look at every sort of facet of them, you know, the finance, the personnel they brought in. You know, I think that's what I was basing it on. You know, I always said, you know, did I expect to be top of the league come this stage of the season? No. I've always said that if we were in sort of points, you know, in earshot of so many points of the top boys, then I'd be happy. You know, I'm happy with being 10th? No, absolutely not. But you know, this is a building process. You know, I sat down with Dean Saunders yesterday after we played the Doncaster side. You know, and his Wrexham side he's put together this year, or that he'd left. You know, he admitted it took him nearly 18 months, nearly 2 years to put together that side. So it just shows you the sort of the time period that you need to put a successful side together. You know, what we've done once again, sometimes I have to sit and pinch myself, you know, because we've brought in 16, 17 new players. And if you look at, I know there's 2 other clubs in this league that are about the same sort of size that have done the same thing, that are struggling at the wrong end of the table. So, you know, do I want to be top of the league? Do I want to be successful? Absolutely. You know, but there has to be a sense of realism and a consistency about our mindset that this is one of the toughest leagues in football, and we're not just going to turn up, win football matches, and go sailing through it and sail into the next league and into the next league. You know, what we need, like I said right from the start, is we need a togetherness, we need a consistency in our mindset, and that means the whole club. You know, and we need to lay foundations and we need to build on them. You know, but like you say, I'm happy with 10th? Absolutely not. But I'm a realist. I've got to be a realist. You know, and we've got to be respectful of our competitors. So, you know, we're going to be working really hard. You know, we're ambitious. We've got a lot of players that are ambitious here that want to be successful this season. But there's going to be a lot of hard work. There's going to be a lot of sweat and tears. And more importantly, there's going to be a lot of highs and lows. Now, the teams that are going to come through it, and they're going to be in that pack, the playoff pack, and the champions are going to be the ones that come through the bad times well. You know, they don't panic, they're still focused, and there's no sort of gilt-edged reaction to defeat. You know, and like I said, after the Southport game, I was really annoyed. We have to be realistic. That was only our 3rd defeat this season, and I think there's a lot of clubs in our league, a lot of clubs in football in general that sort of swap with us. At this stage of the season, only losing 3 games. But like I said, I've said even when we've won games, we beat Newport 5-0. This is, you know, we're trying to build something here, and building something that doesn't happen overnight. You know, but like I say, it's consistency is the key. We've dropped that off I think in the last couple of weeks. We need to get back to that. If we do that, we'll be successful. If not, then we won't be. Simple as.
Finally, what about Saturday? What are you looking like injury-wise?
We've got a few bangs, to be honest, but you know, that was testament. I mean, we played a local derby at Lincoln. You know, I'd be disappointed if we didn't get a few knocks and a few cuts and bruises. But hopefully. We've got sort of Louis Briscoe that's feeling he's growing a little bit, you know. Futch is still a doubt for Saturday, but the majority of them I think are just aches, pains, cuts and bruises. So I'd like to think that, you know, with a bit of a light session today, building it tomorrow, that the majority will be fit for Saturday.
Thank you.
Is Tom Naylor definitely out for Saturday?
No, he's definitely been non-starter. I mean, I think that Matt's going to be another sort of 2 weeks hamstring.
Yeah.
You know, if he's fit for Saturday, you know, we're going to have to start calling him Lazarus. You know, because that would be a recovery from hamstring. But he's been unlucky this season, hasn't he? Just seems to step 1 step forward and then 2 steps back. Bless him. You know. So.
Would Briscoe have been in?